Hey, do you want to know the evolution of writing materials from ancient to modern times? Please watch this video without skipping, and please do subscribe for more videos on evolutions. The first writing in history is on sand, but it is not considered as writing material because it cannot keep it. So the very first writing material is stone and metal. Writing on stone are the oldest examples of writing which have survived the vagaries of nature through centuries. Other more fragile materials which might have been used for writing at various times, being destructible, have not survived, and our knowledge about them is mainly through literacy references and is not always quite conclusive. Writing on stone had to be done painstakingly with the help of chisels or some sharp tools. Once written, the message acquired a very long life. Inscriptions on stone slabs on the sides of rocky mountains or on stone pillars still exist in many parts of the world. The Rosetta Stone of Egypt, which is more than 5,000 years old, is one such typical and valuable example. Use of metal plates for writing purposes appear to have been introduced at a later date, but that too quite early in history. Inscriptions on stone mostly bear texts of special values, royal annals, religious codes of conduct, and some such things, and the metal plates were generally used as documents of a more mundane nature like land grants, legal codes, interstate agreements, and the like. These are available in a large number in various museums of the world, but the fact remains that neither stone slabs nor metal plates could ever achieve the status of books for disseminating knowledge and information as books do. In the river plains of Mesopotamia, where writing developed, clay is an easy available commodity. It becomes the writing material of the temple scribes. Their implement is a piece of reed cut to form a rectangular end. Their two ingredients define the first script. Characters are formed from the wedge-shaped marks which a corner of the reed makes when pressed into the damp clay, a style of writing known as cuneiform. Clay tablets, dried hard in the sun, make an almost indestructible temple archive, but they are not very convenient for sending messages. The very next developed writing material is the Egyptian papyrus, which was developed in 3000 BC. The discovery of an early portable substance to write on is almost as old as writing itself. Around 3000 BC in Egypt, people began making a flexible, smooth surface which will accept and retain ink without blur or smudge. It is known by the name of the aquatic plant which provides the structure, called papyrus. It will remain in regular use longer than any other material in the history of written documents. The next evolution of paper writing is bamboo books, which was developed from 1500 BC. An indigenous plant in China, the bamboo proves as convenient a writing material as papyrus in Egypt. Chinese characters at this early period are written in vertical columns, so a thin strip of bamboo is ideal for a single column. To create a longer document, 2 lines of thread ink each bamboo strip to its neighbor. The modern Chinese character for a book evolves from a pictogram of bamboo strips thread together. Bamboo books survive from as early as about 400 BC. The records indicate that they were in use at least 1000 years before in the Shan dynasty. After that, from 5th century of BC, wax, leaves, and wood are used as writing materials. In many parts of the ancient world, people carry renewable notebooks. They are small tablets with a waxed surface. After being written on, the wax can be warmed and smoothened over for use on other occasions. Scribes in all civilizations are adept at making use of local materials. Palm trees provide the leaves of documents in parts of India. The earliest known Buddhist texts are on strips of birch bark. When the Romans are in Britain, far from their usual supplies of papyrus, they make thin vinyl-like tablets from English trees for their correspondence. Many have been found in the region of Hadrian Wall. And after that, in 2nd century of BC, pergamum and parchment came into picture. During the 2nd century, people in the region of the Mediterranean began using a much more expensive alternative to papyrus. Tradition credits its invention to Eumenes II, who rules in Pergamum on the west coast of Turkey from 197 to 159 BC. The substance in parchment is a form of leather. The word derives from a variation of pergamum. Ordinary leather has occasionally been used for these purposes since about 2500 BC, but only one side can be written on. With parchment, both sides are treated and rubbed until smooth to form a flexible double surface, and we can normally call it as the skin of an animal. It is not until much later in the 2nd century AD that parchment becomes a serious rival to papyrus, but from the 4th until the 15th centuries, it is the standard writing surface of medieval European scribes. It is the material used in all the famous illuminated manuscripts produced in the monasteries. For the most expensive books, a softer and finer version is often used, known as vellum, and made from the hides of young or sometimes unborn calves, kids, and lambs. Parchment is strong and flexible enough for separate pages of a manuscript to be sewn together down one side to form the spine of a book. The shape, whether in a manuscript codex or printed book, represents a massive advance in the efficiency of written communication. In a papyrus scroll, a quick glance at another part of the text involves much unrolling and rolling up. With a codex or book, the reader can move about freely. Modern habits of information retrieval become possible. They will remain familiar in the West for a millennium and a half until eventually improved upon by digital methods. And after that, the discovery of paper came into play in AD 105. Chinese tradition attributes one of the most wide-reaching of inventions to a eunuch at the imperial court by the name of Kailun in the year AD 105. Kailun may merely have presented the emperor with a report on the new substance, but certainly paper is produced in China in the 2nd century AD. Fragments of it survive, made from rags and the fibers of mulberry, laurel, and Chinese grass. To make a sheet of paper, the substances are repeatedly soaked, pounded, washed, boiled, trained, and bleached. The must is left to drain in a mesh frame and then dried. The result is thinner and more flexible than papyrus or parchment, and much more adaptable to methods of large-scale production. This desirable secret takes 1,000 years to reach Europe. The slow journey westwards from AD 751, some Chinese paper makers are captured by Arabs in a battle of 751. The captives are put to work in Samarkand. From there, the technology is taken to Baghdad and continues to spread slowly westwards through the Muslim world until it reaches Spain in the 12th century. Paper is common in Europe by the 15th century. It is therefore available for the first European printed books. In 19th century, the paper from rags came to wood pulp. Until the 19th century, rags are the main ingredient of paper, and books of earlier periods still have wide and flexible pages, pleasant to read even today, centuries later. But various developments in the 19th century, some like increasing population, more prosperity, wider education, the steam press, lead to ever greater demand for paper. The supply of rags cannot meet the need. So, paper makers first try asparato grass as a substance. Then it is discovered in Maine and Massachusetts in the 1860s that wood can be pulped and turned into paper. The first newspaper to be printed on paper from wood pulp is the Boston Weekly Journal in January 1863. The mass market is satisfied and has continued to be satisfied by this new source of material, but prosperity will be less well served. Paper from wood pulp soon turns yellow and brittle. Many books of the late 19th century are now in an unreadable condition, failing to bits, and books of our own time will follow even more rapidly down the same path. Electronic publishing has arrived, none